It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies, current releases, coming attractions,
and what else?
Streaming and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes
You're a mess.
Jim. That's so hot. Hello, Jim.
Yay!
And the man who does not know the meaning of the word dendrophilus.
Who does?
As well, he does like trees. Love is a strong word, and he's definitely never lived in or on a tree. It's Murray.
Yeah, okay.
Hello, Murray.
Yeah, okay.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, I just want to say I have also never lived in a tree. So we're in the same boat, Mur.
Trees are wood.
Trees are good. This week on the podcast, we will talk about what we saw in the theaters last week, which was only one new release. Also, we plan to see in theaters coming up. New releases to streaming that we viewed, Open Raid, Murman Minute, the list, Rage or Dare, and then we put on our masks and go back to our locked purge-like protection suites till next week. Well, let's talk about the movie that's gonna generate a lot of discussion.
You figure?
Absolutely.
I think maybe after I tell you about it and give you my views, you might go, oh, yeah.
I don't think that's
agree.
gonna happen at all, but go ahead.
All right, well, in the theater, we saw Summerland, brand new movie from this year, starring Gemma Arterton. Summerland is a story of an English woman who is presumably forced to take care of a child evacuee during the bombings of London during World War II. This was beautifully shot and beautifully acted. It had very good development of the characters to the point that you genuinely cared for them. It was funny. It was heartwarming. Watching the two main characters' relationship grow through the first 2/3 of the film was a pleasure. The writing was tremendous. I mean, this is how you write a script. Well, at least that was the case for the first 2/3 of the film.
Or all of it.
No. The last act of this happened. All the clever, inspired writing was replaced with overly sentimental and convoluted pablum. It was as if the first 2/3 was written by a gifted playwright, and then they gave the script to a 7-year-old girl who wrote the last third. We had hearts and rainbows, and everything was made of cotton candy, and it rained marshmallows, and the world was a wonderful place, and I threw up a little in my mouth. This should have been a mondo. It really should have. Gemma Arterton was her usual stellar self, and anytime I get to see Tom Courtenay on screen, it's a good day. But alas, the whole endeavor was completely sunk by the ending. In about 20 minutes, this movie went from mondo to rage. What say you, Jim?
Well, I agree with everything you said.
For 2/3 of it.
For the 2/3 of what you said, anyway. And perhaps and I'm sure I'll speak a little bit for Murray because we already talked about this a little bit. I think the 7-year-old girl in us perhaps went to see that movie.
I guess so.
Because here's what I thought about it. This is first and foremost a character film through and through, all the way to the end. Every character from the minor characters like Mr. Sullivan, the principal, as well as Edie, the little buddy of our main character, Frank. This film has been, in my opinion, a film so impactful for bringing emotion and feeling through amazing actors, facial expressions, as a film could possibly bring. I don't think I've ever seen a film that can show so much emotion from people just showing their faces. As any listener who knows me, I am not a fan of period pieces. And I was fearing that this film, before seeing it, it could be a real dumper. I did not find the period piece got in the way of it at all, in fact. If I had been told World War II film of a love affair, that I would actually enjoy it, I probably would have said, probably not. The film itself wasn't super complex, and as the story unwinds, the film was going to take either one of two ways. Happy ending or sad ending.
No,
And
there's a third option, convoluted ending.
no, I don't think it was convoluted at all. The film itself, oh, I already said that. Personally, I normally like sad endings, but because I felt so deeply about every character, I was not distraught with the happy ending unfolding.
I love happy endings.
Not always. Most times you don't. Have I ever seen a depiction of lesbian interracial love choosing love over motherhood during the 1940s? No, never.
Nope.
So I feel that the director wanted to tell a love story of the women of our past through a very character-driven film. Was it a bit sappy? Yes. But by the time the film got to the end, I was already so invested in all the amazing characters, so I was going to cry either way, if it was happy or sad. In fact, for the final 20 minutes that you were saying was crappy, maybe that 7-year-old girl in me was just bawling her eyeballs because I could barely watch the screen as my eyes were filled with little tears as they fell across my cheeks, getting caught in my beard with the popcorn dust.
I am so happy that you enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, I know. I love the positive message. Like the question Alice asks Frank in a turning point in their relationship. Mm-hmm. Would you find it weird if two women loved each other? And he responds, no weirder than two people who fight all the time.
There you go.
Or
That was good stuff.
also, he wasn't too upset about lesbians kissing, which
Yep.
is also pretty cool. Favorite line? You just have to keep your pecker up. Maybe that stole Murray's thunder a little bit. Lovable little scamp that Frank was worth a super non-annoying kid Mondo for an amazing character-developed film. And I have specifically made commentary about the fact of why it perhaps was a happy ending, because the title is called Summerland. And what was Summerland all about?
The King's X song you're talking about?
No, we're talking about Summerland is a place where you go to see and feel your dead family members. So, yeah, I think he got enough with one parent dying. He didn't need both his parents dying.
Well, that's pretty much what the King's X song was about, too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was my bit on it. Mur, what'd you think?
Well, first of all, the line is, I know it's hard, but you have to keep your pecker up.
There you go.
That's the full effect of the line.
That actually does give it way more full effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Fully hard effect.
That's why I remembered it.
Yeah, I don't. I was trying to figure out why you two were giggling when that happened. When that was said, I looked left and I was like, huh?
Oh, his,
Because apparently you were too caught up in 7-year-old writing style.
in
No,
his-
no.
his poor
that
in-
was,
his
the movie
innocent
was
years.
the movie was still good at that point.
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't really expecting to like this at all. I went basically because it's the only thing that was out in theaters that we hadn't seen. I thought, oh, boring period drama, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
I was pleasantly surprised. It was funny in a lot of parts, and
It was funny.
the kid wasn't annoying, which
Yeah, I know,
most
right?
kids are.
He was lovable.
And even her character was good because I liked how crotchety she was. She just,
Yeah.
She reminds you of a female version of you.
exactly.
And then
she didn't care about anybody.
Then she turned into a freaking big tub of goo.
Well,
No,
kinda
she was
had
still
to.
a
She was
crabby
raising
bitch
a
at the
kid.
end. She was still a crabby bitch
But
at
yes,
the end. They showed her.
and
true-
I also enjoy happy endings, so I was pleased with the way it turned out and the way they tied the whole movie together at the end. I thought it was a good resolution to the movie. One thing I hate most in films is when they leave stuff at the end of the movie, just like, okay, what the hell happened? Like, you have no idea what happened. Like, you're trying to figure out what
this
the hell
was-
happened at the end of the
This was
movie.
too much coming back to where they.
I like the way it was.
I didn't like the bookend either.
I like it
No.
tied them in together, but
I could have. The bookend ending for me didn't really have to happen. I would agree that didn't necessarily have to happen because you already knew that they were going to have a happy ending. But I did love the fact that she was a crotchety old bag at the end.
Yes.
So she never really
Was
changed
she?
her person.
she never really changed.
No.
They showed her
she
from the
changed.
beginning when she was crotchety, and then she was crotchety
She
when she was talking
changed.
about it. Yeah,
Not
no.
that much.
No, she was still crotchety.
She just liked
She's
the
just
kid.
angry.
She just
angry,
loved the
angry.
kid. That's the difference.
Yeah.
She let one
And who
person.
couldn't love Frank?
She let
He
one
was-
person into her life. That
He was
all
so
it took.
well, and obviously her I guess
Yeah.
somewhat wife, but
Yeah. No, I
Right.
liked it.
Well,
I-
I'm sad that you were broken about
Yes.
this.
I would, in fact, give it a World War II lesbian drama with no sex or violence mondo.
Perfect. That's 2 Mondos and 1 Rage. We were completely split. Well, maybe that'll be part of what your Rage is going to be this week. Who knows?
Maybe.
So, is that all you want? You didn't want to spit some more venom at us?
You know, I can't argue with any of what you guys were saying. It was a great movie until the last third, and then it just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, I know. I know you weren't.
Then it was...
You just spoke moistly all over us.
That's right. I think it's his microphone.
Yeah. All right. Well, we did see one other thing at the theaters
Yeah.
in preparation for next week, which is kind of a bit of a going to be a segue later on.
All right, get us all geared up for it there,
So we saw Train to Busan. This was the first time I've seen this in the theater.
Jim. Yeah, I've never seen it on
Me
big
too.
screen.
Yeah. Mer?
Actually,
You
it's the
too?
first time I saw it all the way
All
through.
the way through.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've talked about this movie a few times on the podcast because it made one of my, probably a couple
Because
of
you
my top
love
lists.
it so much.
I do. I think it
Love it.
made 2 of my lists. I think it made one of my top foreign films, and I think it made my list for horror films. So,
Yeah, I think you're trying to make an excuse to get it on the drama list, and if you could possibly do it, let's get it on
There
the
was
comedy
drama.
list.
there was a bit of comedy, too.
It wasn't all
How did it not
zombies.
make your comedy list?
There,
Jim?
Yeah.
there was drama too.
Yeah, of course. There was the whole
Well, any good film that's well written is going to have a little bit of everything.
little bit
in
of
it.
everything. So, you know what I found? The 2 main male characters, the banter between them, it wasn't as predominant as The Killer, but John Woo's film The Killer, you know how those 2 had that playful banter through the whole movie?
Yeah.
This one kind of felt a little bit like that, and
A little bit.
yeah. So whoever's listening, if you haven't seen Train to Busan in theaters, it's definitely worth the price of admission, which
Yeah.
for us was like $5.
$5.
So
Yeah.
it was worth. I would have paid full $1 to see it in the theater because, you know, we've talked about this too.
That may be one of my favorite kids in a movie, too, to be
Yes!
honest. She was
She was okay.
spectacular.
She-
Whatever.
okay. She's
She
the
was great.
smartest, lovable,
She really is.
ethical.
I like the little girl from The Meg better. But
the Meg,
The Meg.
the little girl.
With
Oh,
Jason Statham.
Jason
Yeah,
Statham,
she was
and a giant edible
adorable.
eating shark. Well, let's just face it. If you get it right, you get it right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And because kids, I think there's almost 3 categories. There's creepy little fuckers. There's annoying kids you want to punch in the face because they're so fucking
Which
annoying.
is 99%.
99% of them. And then there's this very select few of cute little adorable lovable kids, which we saw Frank
That
and we saw
genuinely drag emotion out of you, whether you want it or not.
yeah, 100%. Like it made him
And
come.
I didn't want it, but
You
she
didn't
dragged
did
it
she
out of
drag
me
it?
anyway.
I'm sure Frank gave you a little bit of emotion too. A
little bit.
Come on, Frank was pretty awesome.
Frank was awesome, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to say about this other than we're so excited about part 2, which we're going to talk about soon?
No, I'm stoked to see it. Peninsula, I think it's official that we are seeing it next week, so...
Are we doing the transition? Should we talk about Peninsula now?
Yeah.
Peninsula now? We'll just shuffle things a bit.
Yeah, we might as well, since we just...
Segue.
I was actually, when I was looking at your little lineup, I'm like, why are we talking about
I don't
Peninsula
know.
right after?
I'm just making things a little cray-cray.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, so we're seeing Peninsula in theaters. So for those of you who don't know, that is the sequel to Train to Busan, it's set 4 years after the movie Train to Busan. People on the Korean peninsula who have survived from ruin struggle to survive. So everything about the trailers on this, and when a new trailer comes out, I just about have a super joygasm. It looks almost to me a little bit like Mad Max Thunderdome meets Train to Busan a little bit. So I'm kind of a little
Sounds
excited
good.
to see how that goes. They've got the whole mass mob of zombie in a pile thing going down pretty good, which is done so well in Train to Busan.
Yeah.
It's like every time you look, I don't know.
It's like a tidal wave of zombie
Yeah,
flowing down the
flowing
train.
through. It's like, or falling off buildings or
Yep.
falling from helicopters. It's
Yeah.
just like, okay. I mean, I kind of, perspective wise, even in Train to Busan, when they fall from the helicopters and they land on the cars and go crashy,
Yeah.
and you're thinking to yourself, was that CGI? How did, sometimes I don't know how they do these technical things.
Yeah, there's a lot of CGI in there, but some of
Yeah.
them you stop and you go, was it? Wasn't it?
Well,
And that's when you know you're doing it well.
Because even in Train to Busan, which I can see there's a couple scenes from the trailer for Peninsula, where they have the massive zombies kind of
Yeah.
the body parts sticking out and stuff. But in Train to Busan, the whole scene at the end where they have all those people grabbing on is a practical effect. It is not.
Yeah.
It is not CGI at all, because if you see the extra features
that's awesome.
at the end, it's so cool. They're all actually physically jumping, and they've got like a sort of a hidden mat that they're all landing on. It's so well done. So well done. I can't wait for this second part. It's going to be Peninsula.
Cool. No, yeah, it looks good. I'm looking forward to it too.
Mur, you're looking forward to it now that you've seen the first one in theaters.
Sure.
That's all you're going to give us?
Oh, well, if there were vampires, I would definitely be interested.
More. Well, maybe
It's just zombies.
How do you know that? Maybe there's a hybrid that is kind of like a vampire.
Well, we'll have to see.
Can you give us the actual because they're both undead,
Yes.
but zombies more like the meat side, and the it's kind of like the undead vegetarian versus meat eater.
You wanna have
Zombies
this
are eating the
discussion
meat,
now?
and the vampires just drinking the blood.
Well, yeah, no, technically zombies, they just eat the brains, right? So they're just
No,
looking
that's only in one specific
Wow.
genre of.
But vampires, pretty much universally, they just want the blood.
And they seem to still have their brains left.
They don't eat body parts. They don't gnaw on the flesh. They just suck the blood
So
out.
they are kind of like the vegan version of
And
the
they're,
undead.
for the most part, intelligent.
Okay.
There are some exceptions, but
All right.
I just like vamps.
By the way, have we ever gone this deep into this track? Because I don't remember this part.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm kind of tripping. Well, probably it's just that we're not
Paying
this quiet. And,
attention?
we're
Maybe.
not as laid back and subdued right now. I feel like we should smoke a giant bowl in here.
I've
It's so
mellowed you guys
calm.
out.
This has got to pick up at some point,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
It's pretty mellow.
you're going to talk about a movie that's probably should have some punch to it.
Well, yeah, this isn't
With a
mellow
name
at all.
like White Riot.
So, yeah.
This sounds more like Quiet Riot, but
Yeah, no
one of their
kidding.
ballads.
One of their ballads. Loves a bitch, baby. Is that a ballad? I don't know.
Yeah,
There you
maybe.
go. There's some
Sure, it
rage.
works for me.
There's some rage for you.
Loves a bitch. Yeah, she's crazy. Yeah, that's a ballad.
Sure. I'd sing it.
Anyways, White Riot is coming out at the Globe this week. Fairly new movie. Was released 2019 at various places, but never made it here. So I'm calling it a new release.
Do it.
So this is a documentary about the Rock Against Racism movement formed in 1976. I don't have much to say. Looks super interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. Should be good.
I'm very excited, and in fact, one of my bands actually played at Mac Hall in Rock Against Racism. So
Cool.
I'm very excited to see this because I kind of want to know a little bit more about it. Because at the time when we played it, I was just like, what? A gig in front of 2,000 people? I'm in.
Sign me up.
So, yeah, I'm kind of excited. And I mean, such a topical film, right?
Yep.
It's something that you would think that we should have probably seen this a while ago, right? Like,
Yep.
and promoted by Eric Clapton.
Yeah, I
Prompted
think,
by.
yeah, prompted by. I
He
think Eric
made-
Clapton made some bad comments that prompted this.
Oh, is that
Really?
why? Okay, so
that
he
prompted
wasn't,
the movie to be made.
He wasn't like the organizer then.
No,
He was no Bob Geldof.
No, I think
He was
I
anti-Geldof.
think he said some stuff. I could be wrong,
Oh,
but I
Clapton.
think he said some stuff.
Huh?
And then
Well then.
that formed Rock Against Racism as
Because
a
they're
response
basically
to what he
they're
said.
basically saying Eric Clapton is a racist.
For anybody, if I'm wrong, I apologize to
correct.
Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
But if memory serves me correct, he said
Some comments.
some comments
Something bad.
that were not good.
Like he didn't say the N-word, did he?
No, but
Okay.
he said some yeah.
Was it specific
It was-
to
it
a
was-
culture?
Yeah, it was just racist stuff.
And it was back in the 70s before people really took offense to everything.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think they still always took an offense.
No, I
It's
mean,
just
like,
they
more-
didn't have a voice to
Not as much as
to
they
make
do
their-
today.
Yeah. Well, no, they were still just as offended. It's just now they have a voice, they can say stuff, right? So, or they're getting their voice. They don't even fully have it yet. So,
Yeah.
good. Good. This
Well,
is
we'll
a
see.
perfect movie for these times, and I hope that as many people that listen to
It
this,
wasn't him, it was somebody, but I hate to just say that. But I'm pretty sure
well,
it was Eric.
apparently we'll do some research on
We
this
will.
and talk about it
We'll know
next
what we're-
week.
Yeah, we'll know what
once
we're
we've
talking
seen
about
it.
next week. I probably shouldn't have opened my mouth until I was 100%
It's always
sure about
it's always
something
fun
like
to
that.
start rumors and see where they go. So we'll see. Actually, it was kind of funny because one of our, I don't know who, but somebody commented on one of our podcast a few weeks ago and told us the right information, so I was kind of happy about that. And I can't remember what it was, or I would share with you. I'll maybe go back and look that up too.
Didn't tell us the right information. He just had a theory on what impetigo means because it was a skin condition combined with gore.
That's right. Yeah. Impetigo.
Which is his explanation. It made sense.
Made sense to me. Thanks, dude. Okay, well, I guess that's what's coming out this week. We're going to see 2 films, and they're 2 different locations. One is going to be at Landmark Cinemas, and the other is going to be at the Globe Cinemas.
Friends at the Globe.
And my love of National Cinemas Landmark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
all right.
Let's talk about what we streamed.
Yeah, okay.
Let's dance. Streaming. Motherfucking streaming. We're just streaming. And Bryce, we're
streaming.
Merman, you know what we've done on the weekend?
Streaming.
Nice. All right. So, first off, we streamed Host from 2020. This is brand spanking new.
Spanking new.
You can really tell from the subject of it. So Host 2020, streaming on Shudder. Our now my friends at Shudder.
Okay, there's a love affair going on.
I was very upset with Shudder for a long time, but we've reconciled. We've come to a mutual agreement. And they're my buddies again. I'm okay with Shudder right
that's
now.
sweet. Just because they played 2 movies back to back that we've
Plus,
loved.
That's the other thing. Well, how do you know that I love this?
I just know you did because this was a good movie.
All right. Well, let's let the cat out of the bag. All right. So basically, this is about a séance being conducted by a Zoom movie. As this movie takes place, or it's a Zoom movie. Did I just say Zoom movie?
Zoom movie, not a Zoom movie. A Zoom.
This is a Zoom
event.
movie. There's lions and tigers. No.
Oh my.
So as I say, basically about a séance being conducted via Zoom meeting. I can't get meeting out. I can't say Zoom
event.
meeting.
Say Zoom event.
Via a Zoom event. As this movie takes place during our current pandemic situation of social distancing. This has all the ingredients to be a terrible movie. It is really like attending a Zoom move. Why can't I say meeting?
Like a Zoom event.
A Zoom event. Just watching characters on their webcams interacting with each other over the internet. And it's a ghost story, which are good out about 1 out of every 10 times or so.
Yeah, we've talked about how much we hate ghost stories.
I don't like them.
I love ghost stories.
Sweet.
So I start watching this, and 10 minutes in, I'm like, this is not very good. But then something happened. I actually became immersed in this meeting. And then when the supernatural stuff started happening, I was like, okay, that was kind of cool.
I like it.
And then the last 10 minutes kicked in, and it turned the creep factor up along with some killer jump scares.
2 and 11.
And I was like, damn, I just had a really good time. This movie slowly sucked me in. And the spooky meter sitting around 2 at the beginning. And during the snug 1 hour runtime of this, kept turning the spooky up until it climaxed at an
11.
You got it.
Sweet.
And the last jump scare at the end was awesome.
Super
So
duper.
this was a super surprising Mondo for me.
Love
I'm
it.
guessing you're gonna have a similar reaction.
You are correct. First off, I am not a big fan of found footage or shaky camera films.
Love them.
But the horror that's been created in COVID, and the number of Zoom calls I've been on and WebExes, I was expecting to hate this film too.
I can't get WebEx off my computer, by the way. I just want to get rid of it. It's
Don't.
your fault, by the way.
I'll just set up a WebEx call with us and you'll enjoy it. Very well done film. For the genre, I love seeing doing a very COVID current thing. All the usual jump scare tactics and predictable setups, like the slow walk into darkness jumps. But I liked it.
I don't know what it was.
I don't know.
The jump scares in this got me, and they never get me.
I know.
But there's like 3 in here
I know.
that got me. I was like, oh, jeez.
It's like, what just... Oh. It's only one hour, so it wasn't really a big commitment. So
Yeah.
I was kind of going, okay, an hour. I can fit that in between sessions of masturbating or whatever I was doing. I can't remember.
Yep.
So it was easy to go through.
You watch this and you're ready to go again with it.
Exactly. And it wasn't a very simple story and a very small. I imagine it had to have been a super small budget.
Yeah. Once again, you don't have to throw money at a project to make it entertaining.
Yeah, it's true. Gets a predictable, but still had me engaged ghostly light mondo. I love the drinking game and the psychic who comes back after the fact and said, "Oh yeah, I told you to be serious about this." That was kind of the part that I loved the most about it. It was kind of like, yeah, you probably, if you're going to do something like this, you probably should have made more of an effort to tell them that, to say, oh yeah, when I say I'm serious, this is why. Because if you're joking, it might turn evil and you might pull Satan himself into your computer.
But then we wouldn't have had the movie.
I know,
but
I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yes. How cool was her floating above the pool, man? That was a super cool scene.
There was
too.
there was a lot of good floating
Yeah,
scenes.
There was.
So way to go, way to be creative through COVID.
Yeah,
and,
it was awesome. Like, I was so surprised that I loved this as much as I did. I'm ready to hate it the whole way through. And after 10 minutes, I'm like, this is crap. And after 20, it's like, okay, well, it's
okay.
fine. It's rolling
okay.
along. There's only 40 minutes left. I can do this.
I can do this.
And then a half hour in, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of starting to enjoy this a little. And then by the end of it, I was like, I really like that. That was awesome.
What about the dude that leaves early?
Yeah.
And then he's like,
He
okay,
pops
well,
back in
he's
and
like,
everything.
you came in at the
So
wrong
much
time,
carnage,
dude. You came in at the wrong time. If you only would have left, you'd have been fine. But apparently not.
No, it was so good.
Now, there could still be some people that are alive in this, so we could be seeing a host, too, come to the theater
why not?
near us.
Why not?
Okay, well, I think we're going to be polar opposites on this next film because I thought this was great.
Oh, then we will be polar opposites.
Yeah.
I also thought it was great if it wasn't for one frickin' thing again.
I hate when you have one thing that
Anyways,
just destroys things
it
for
did
you.
destroy it for me. But you win me over. Let me convince me that the one thing that I'm going to start talking about is going to be totally trivial.
Okay.
And I'm going to go, you know what? You're right.
Maybe I shouldn't have hated as much.
Let's
So
do
the
it.
film is called The Hater on Netflix.
Yes.
And actually, I think it has because it's Polish. I can't pronounce this. Sala Samabojko Hitchtar.
What are you-
Hitchtar. I'm
what
trying
are
to
you
read.
doing?
I'm trying to read Polish, which I'm not very good at.
Oh, Sala Semble.
Yeah. So, a young man searches for purpose in a net of hatred and violence that he tries to control. Directed by
our buddy from Corpus Christi.
Yes. And I've seen a few of his other films, and I'm going to go and watch a ton more. But this film answers the age-old question, how far will you go for the love of a good woman? The suspense of what the fuck is going on in this little douchebag's head was done, in my opinion, so amazing. Always
Absolutely.
an angle and
was
never
awesome.
knowing his full intent other than his love interest, which was at the core of everything he did, but you don't always know that. Everything about our lead actor just dials up the creep factor to an 11. Loved the whole character development of this amazing drama. This director, which has, as we've talked, has already produced some amazing films, including our one Corpus Christi from last year, which makes me think he's doing a film a year, which is making me super excited. It's not surprising to bring a slow-building, suspense-filled drama, sure to make you want to pull your hair out with intrigue, wondering how far and what he will do for what he wants. This is the primary actor. This director has such a great grasp of just giving you enough through little bumps in the script, but as the whole story starts to unwind, you are so pulled in like it's the slow burn that you just can't fight. Very intelligently written, this writer-director don't dumb it down. Their story, they don't dumb it down at all to make it acceptable to the masses. So much layers of plot and development. I loved every minute of this film. This film was so topical, it's sickening because there has been a ton of stuff about these very jobs and about like the whole election scandals that happen and what people are doing. So to see it go through this whole development for me was amazing. I loved everything about it. Favorite line we can do everything?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the answer is what a lot of fucking time to plan. The answer of how far you will go for the love of a good woman is everything.
There you go.
This gets a master manipulator, sociopathic, motherfucking joy-gastic supermondo for me. I loved everything about this.
So-
now tell me why I shouldn't have loved it.
Other than your rating,
Yep.
I agree with everything you said.
So what killed it for
I
you?
can just say ditto.
Which one thing?
Ditto, but.
Okay, what's this one thing? And where was it in the movie that you had to carry this weight of the world on your shoulders for how long in the movie?
Well, it introduced itself early and it snowballed from there.
Okay, let's have it.
I would have loved this movie if I would have been able to buy in on the relationship between our main character Tomas and his love interest in this, Gabby. It did not make sense.
Why?
It just didn't make sense. And that killed the movie for me. The rest of the movie was great, but unfortunately, it all kind of hinged on this one relationship that made no sense to me. Had that been more well developed, the movie would have been a mondo, which is what I was expecting, as this was directed by Jan Komasa, who was the dude that directed Corpus Christi, as we said. Which we were, both gave a mondo earlier this year,
Yep,
obviously.
absolutely.
Having said this, the rest of the movie was great. There are some powerful scenes and memorable images created within this film. The movie will stay with me, but I'm afraid the lasting memory will always be, why does Gabby want anything to do with this dude? They really needed to develop that more.
See, I found
was so good, and that
this is a guy.
I do think people should see this, but this was a
Maybe
disappointing mess.
see-
Because why? Why was his family putting up with him? Why was she had any interest whatsoever? They did not develop that, because I'm like,
No, they-
what the heck is
They
she
did a
doing
little,
with him?
so they did a little bit. I don't think it was
no.
as predominant as you might have wanted, but you have to remember,
There is
they
no
don't
way.
they don't give you
Once
anything.
She gets
what
a little
happened
drunk,
before then.
starts making out with him, and now all of a
It
sudden,
wasn't just drunk; she was on drugs, dude. Like,
okay,
they-
yeah. So then she's
And
gonna sober up.
But he also
From that?
he actually took her home, took care of her, put her to bed. He didn't fuck her that night. He just took her home and took care of her.
And that's it.
No, but
This creepy guy.
yeah, because you got to keep in mind, this is a benefactor from her parents. They don't even talk about any of that. They don't give any setup to it. So they could have
But
been
don't-
childhood friends. In fact, that hinted to a little bit, but they had known each other since they were 7.
So what?
So it's kind of like one of those things that you see in a lot of movies where they maybe been childhood friends and then they grew apart and then they grew back together
There had
slowly
to be
over certain
something
times.
there where he wasn't super creepy, where you could say, okay, a relationship can actually develop.
Well,
from this.
but he
there
was
was
doing-
never anything
There
where he
was-
wasn't super creepy.
He was super involved in their life peripherally, and then
Which made
and
it
then
worse.
they didn't. But they weren't seeing what we were seeing about how creepy this guy was.
No, they weren't.
So
but
they were.
I was
they were
seeing
just,
the interaction between the two of them, and it never made any sense.
To me it did. You know what?
And that
she had
killed it.
She
It killed
she
it.
did. She was positioning herself.
I
with
love
other
this
people.
movie. Other than that, and that just weighed on my brain the whole way through because
Yeah.
it made no sense. Why on earth would she have anything to do with this guy?
because he was.
They needed to write something that made sense.
Yeah, no, I was.
There was
fine with it.
nothing there.
I was fine with
nothing
it.
there.
I didn't need to know because his ultimate goal was to win her over.
Yeah.
And they didn't. Did they spell it out the way you're saying? No, but I don't care. That didn't bother me at all.
That was what
Because-
the whole story hinged on. How can
No.
that bother you?
No, it didn't. Because
No, it didn't?
There was no. Okay, so number one. Okay, there's
That's what he did everything
there's
for.
huge, but there's right. But for her to fall in love with him, there was specific times within the movie where he actually did come through. Came through for her. She was all fucked up on drugs and drunk, and then he helps her, and then he does a stupid thing, but then he's been in their life their whole time. Then he's working with her parents and all of their political stuff, and then at the end,
Okay,
the thing that
what the heck's going
nailed
on?
it for her.
She goes
though-
away. She goes away to Yankee Land.
Yeah, and with a douchebag, which we already knew he was going to be a douchebag.
And then she comes running back to this dweeb.
No, but it wasn't just running back to him because there was the big event where everybody gets killed, and he kind of was there for her sister. So he attached himself emotionally. He took a bullet for to get win the love of her.
I'm not buying it.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I could totally see it. There's been a lot worse ways that people have fallen in love with people, and because we don't know their whole history, I didn't bother me in the least.
But the fact that this movie hinged on it, I needed to understand, and I didn't get it.
It's too bad.
It is, because I love this movie. Other than that, I wish that wasn't part of it, and then I would have. Let's just have it focused on this creepy.
So I suggest you just watch it again, and then try and keep in perspective that it's worth it to watch again. I might watch it 2 or 3 times this weekend.
Okay, well, you do that. And maybe you'll see that I'm right, and they don't develop anything that is even
I already watched
a resemblance of an actual relationship.
No.
These two had no connection whatsoever, yet
He took a
they
bullet.
were connected.
He took a bullet for their family, so that's enough to love him right there.
Whatever.
Little did she know what she was getting into.
Now I've blown 2 raspberries in this episode now.
Yeah, and both of those movies were Mondos, so that's kind of funny.
I'm going to rust out my microphone
Actually,
here.
but you didn't give this one a rage. You only gave it a meh.
No, it's a meh. I loved it. Other than that.
Well, keep in mind that I did make a thing that the director didn't dumb it down so that it would make it accessible to the masses. Mm-hmm. So apparently that might fit you.
I don't think so, Jim. But nice try.
Are we done now?
Yeah, we're done.
All right.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Well, this might not be a big rage, but I don't understand why the internet is so stupid. I'm going to say the internet in general is stupid because, I mean, it could be me interpreting the search engines.
The internet's not stupid.
The internet's stupid.
It doesn't have the capability of being intelligent.
I know.
It's not a sentient being.
It's just annoying because you'll search stuff to see how can every single web page have a different release date for movies that we want to see.
That is annoying.
It's annoying, and how are people there must be somebody like the producers of this film that say this is when it's coming. It's not like one theater's going to get it and the other one's not, and that you'll search something that's supposed to be coming out next week. I understand they could change things, but if you're doing a live, not live, but you're doing live updates to your website,
You'd think they could be accurate.
you think they could be accurate, especially in this time of pandemic now that we're in. Because you know what? One of the things that, interestingly enough, that helped to build this rage was when we were trying to figure out when Peninsula was coming. So I figured out that, I'm pretty sure it's coming out this weekend. But one of the things that was cemented...
But we've been fooled before.
It's true. But it's now cemented because I can go buy tickets for it.
Yeah.
But it was cemented last week. I couldn't find any information about what was coming out for this Friday except the new SpongeBob movie.
There's a new SpongeBob movie?
There's a new SpongeBob movie coming out not this Friday, the next Friday.
Oh, I thought it was the old one.
The following. No, it's the new one with Keanu Reeves in it. So I will be seeing that 100%.
What?
Yeah, Keanu Reeves is in the next SpongeBob movie.
As Keanu Reeves?
I don't know. He might be playing God. So that would even be cooler.
Or a surfer.
Surfer dude God?
Surfer God.
I don't know. Maybe I'll look it up while I'm raging. But yeah, so can we please have a central database? And isn't there something called Internet Movie Database? Why would they not have the proper database?
I don't know.
That's my anger. I'm raging about the internet / maybe it's IMDb / maybe movie theaters. I know they got a lot of other things to worry about, but for those of us that are trying to plan our lives around movies, I just want some place I can go to find out. And if anybody's listening that has it's accurate every single time to search it, please let us know. And that's my rage this week.
All right. You can have that.
No comment?
I'm good.
All right, then.
All right, so I guess it's my turn. I don't think Jim's going to agree with me here. Oh, he's showing me a picture of Keanu Reeves. It seems to be in a big tumbleweed. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on with that. Is he God? What's going on in that?
I don't know. They're not showing his credit in IMDb either.
He appears to be a tumbleweed.
Yes.
Oh, he's Sage. Sorry, he's Sage.
Sagebrush.
Yeah, maybe he's a sagebrush. But his title, and he has #1 billing, and it's Sage.
There
Sorry,
you go.
keep up with your rage.
All right.
So
buddy.
can we just have some consistency in characters?
Okay, sure. What about?
If there's going to be a change in the essence of what we think a character is about, then can we have some better writing that does not just seem like they woke up the next day and decided to look at things in an unexplained new way? I watched 2 movies this week that fell into that trap. Alice in Summerland had some interesting swings in character in the last third of that movie. I get that the kid in her life, as well as the introduction of another character, would change her outlook on things to a certain extent, but I refuse to believe that it would turn her into the tub of goo that she became. And then there's The Hater. Gabby goes from generally being creeped out by Tomas to being enamored with him, with little to no explanation. There has to be a core to these characters that is consistent and makes sense throughout the movie. And if there is a significant change to these core values, then you better explain it through the writing. Otherwise, it just makes me rage. What do you think about that, Jim?
I think your rage is dumb because I disagree with you. But
Well, you're wrong.
no, because I think
No, you are.
No, I think in Summerland, I think she turned into a pile of goo because, I mean, what was the reason why she was a crotchety old bag of hammers in the first place?
She lived alone.
No, well, that's
one
part
lived
of
there.
it. That's
Well,
part
it's
of it.
because of a
But-
love lost.
Well, a love lost,
too.
but
And
also,
the way that it was, yeah.
but also, what had generated her whole career? It was her father dying in the war.
Yeah.
So, when you start to pull that in, there's a huge connection that she builds
And
to
then
Frank.
she turned into a cup tub of goo.
She was a slowly pile of goo because when she
No.
gave Frank away and then she realized he was going to leave away from everywhere and not get to go to Summerland where he could hear his parents talk to him, she was a little bit more softer.
what about Gabby?
She slowly went to pile
I
of
still
goo.
can't let go
I
let
know.
go of Gabby.
You
There's
can't
no
get rid-
way that she could fall for that.
See, I don't know.
Tomas.
Didn't rape her when he could have. Took a bullet
Oh,
for her
there's
family.
a reason to fall in love.
Did a lot of
you
volunteering.
didn't rape me, so I love you.
Well, you should have seen the people she was going
That's
out with.
ridiculous.
Hanging out with
you
idiots.
are ridiculous.
And
that
she
is a
knew him since she was
ridiculous
7.
statement.
She knew him since she was 7.
You're assuming.
They were little buddies.
Yeah, you're creating something that
I don't know. How many people do you know that would have their schooling paid for by your parents? Like, it's not just like, oh, this is just some random dude. This is a guy
by
who's
someone
part of their
else's
family.
Parents. Yes.
Right? I mean, her parents paid for his schooling. So there was obviously something deeper there that wasn't portrayed, and I'm okay with that because I was okay with him not raping
There
her.
was.
And I was okay with him taking a bullet, which perfectly
perfectly
seemed natural.
It was all just dumb.
It was all just goo and
Yeah, and it just made no sense.
well, I think I'm right. Murray, I'm half right because Murray agreed with me on the first one.
Yeah,
That
well,
I did.
Okay, so you go ahead and be half right in your own mind.
You know what? One thing I can tell you,
Yes, tell me one thing.
that
One thing.
one thing is you can't control your own rage. If you've got it, you own it, baby.
I'm owning
so
it.
you own that rage. This week, I wasn't feeling very rageful at all, except about the internet.
Yes.
The movies we saw, I thought all were pretty damn good.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
Let's move on.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
All right, I guess I'm up.
Sage,
Try to calm things down here a little bit.
Yes.
Bryce is
bring us joy. Bring us some joy,
Got
Merman.
veins
I don't
popping
think
out of
that-
my head.
This week I have kind of a rage myself, but not as harsh as Bryce.
Yes.
This week I'm going to talk about critically acclaimed movies that people actually hate.
Oh, like these two movies, the price.
Those two are not
I
on my
got
list.
two critics in front of me that
There you
I
go.
don't understand why they like.
All
these
right,
things.
number 10, we've got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Which one?
Which
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory
Oh, that would be
is the remake with Johnny Depp.
right. The original one.
This
was-
one completely ruined the pleasant memory of the original for me and
Eh,
turned
I didn't
Willy
mind
Wonka into a
With Willy
sick,
Wonka, yeah.
twisted freak.
I love it. I love Swiss. What?
Gene
Twisted
Wilder
Sister.
couldn't even bring himself to watch
It
it.
was Burtonized.
Yet it got rave reviews and an A- cinema score.
I liked it.
I actually own a copy of this. I've never even taken the shrink wrap off of
So
it.
have you actually not seen it? You just
I saw it in the theaters and then
Oh.
I bought
Well,
it for
why
some
did you
reason.
buy it?
I don't know. I thought it
Just
would
to
be good.
complete the collection.
I guess so. I don't know.
collector.
But yeah, I
He's
just
a collector.
Never got around to watching it, and I never will now.
Fair enough.
Number 9, we've got Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
That was
that was
Drac.
rage.
You talk to any Indiana Jones fan about it, you can hear the venom in their voice. Yet it got a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's got to be ironic.
Any movie that
Despite
makes
its
Sean Connery look stupid is going to be
not Sean
bad.
Connery, though.
Oh, which was that one?
Crystal
No, it's
Skull
Last
was with
Crusade,
Shia
you
LaBeouf.
wiener.
Oh, okay, whatever. They're both terrible.
The new one.
The
one
new
from
one,
like...
the last one.
Yeah.
They're both terrible.
Yeah, and they cast Shia LaBeouf as his son. So,
That was fine with me.
and yet
the rest of it was bad.
And yet it was the second highest grossing film of that year.
Wow.
Number 8, we've got Green Book. Now, I haven't actually seen it, so I'm going to go by popular opinions here. But
I liked it.
Oh, does he
it
go?
received plenty
Yeah,
of awards.
it's great.
Buzz actually won Best Picture that year, but it was guilty of something known as white savior syndrome,
And
which you may be familiar with.
Yeah, well, I raged about it earlier this
There you
year
go.
for
And
Friends with
apparently,
Enemies.
it was also highly inaccurate. The family of the main character said it wasn't even close to his real character.
Not a biopic that's not close.
He said that the two characters, they weren't even friends. Like, wasn't even close.
All right.
So Hollywood to the rescue again. Then we got number 7.
But it was still entertaining.
Yeah,
whatever.
I like Viggo Mortensen.
Then The Blind Side, number 7. Again, haven't
Sandy
seen it.
Bullock.
I do love Sandra Bullock. Glad she won an Oscar, but the movie was terrible.
Movie was terrible.
It also fell victim to white savior.
Yes, it
syndrome.
did. In a big way.
And it was-
in an uncomfortable way.
Yeah.
It's such a shock to have it nominated for an Oscar that the
What the-
Academy actually changed the rules for
What?
next year's ceremony.
Wow.
Like they changed that each Best Picture nominee had to have a certain number of conditions
Wow.
after this one got nominated the year before.
Yikes.
Yeah. And I actually happen to know who the player is that it was portrayed in the
Oh,
movie.
okay,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think it was even close to his real life.
No, it wasn't.
Now, number 6.
He
we
actually
have-
laughs about it though, so
Does he?
he's cool about
There you
it.
go.
But he's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I made money.
Number 6, we have Mother! Exclamation point.
Love Mother.
Now, I love a good J-Law movie, much as the next person. In fact, I enjoy most of her movies. But this one was just a hot mess.
And Javier Bardem.
It got rave reviews at all the major festivals, 69% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Because it was excellent.
and was poised to compete at the Oscars.
It was
But-
fantastic.
And then it got released to the public,
I
and
loved it.
they destroyed it.
I'm part of the public and I loved it.
It actually received an F on CinemaScore,
A
which
plus,
is
plus,
not
plus.
easy to do. Only 20 films in history have ever done that.
Plus, plus, plus.
And I'm sure Adam Sandler made about 10 of them.
That's a lot of pluses with an A in front of it.
Oh, it's got
from
Donnell
Bryce.
Gleeson in it too. I haven't seen this.
It's excellent.
Okay, number 5, we got Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace. Now, I'm a
Nah.
huge Star Wars fan. I actually bought a ticket from a guy, my friend's brother, at 3 times the price
Yeah, we talked about this.
just
That's
to
crazy.
see it on opening night at a theater in the South.
I saw it
I
at 2 in the
took
morning.
2 buses and a train to get there and then waited an hour outside
Yep.
to get in, only to have a seat in the 3rd row.
Oh, no.
Of like
no.
the brand new theaters with a big surround screen.
dude.
I don't want to bust your bubble. I just walked into Eau Claire and saw it.
Yeah, well, this is opening night.
Yeah, opening night.
Well,
in Eau
I
Claire.
didn't. Like holy pod races, Batman. It was spectacular to look at. Too bad that every time Jar Jar Binks opened his mouth, I wanted
so
to jam my
happy.
fingers in my ears.
He was funny.
He was awesome. I
The
loved
hate for
Jar
this
Jar.
film got so bad, it actually caused poor Jake Lloyd to quit acting at the age of 10 due to bullying.
Aw,
He never
that's
acted in
cute.
another
Poor
thing
little
after
gaffer.
that. Sorry, Jake.
Well, he was kind of terrible anyway. So
Yeah. Movie
I don't
actually
think
got
he had a bright
got a lot of
future.
positive reviews. Even got an
It was
A-
alright.
in CinemaScore, but it's just really
It was
bad.
It was disappointing.
Except for Darth Maul, he was awesome.
Takes that long for something to come out. It should be better than it
Yeah,
was.
we were waiting so long for it that we were ready for it, and it
I get that.
it fell flat.
Yep.
Number 4, Avatar.
Avatar.
I don't get it.
The visuals.
Seriously, I don't get the big deal with this movie.
I'm with you, brother.
Sure, it's visually impressive. Probably one of the best 3D movies ever.
Yep.
It's a
Problem
love
is,
story.
I saw it in 2D.
It's Fern
I
Gully.
had to actually follow the storyline.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah,
Ouch.
but it was the highest grossing movie of all time until the Avengers came along. And
There you go.
now it's seen as an impressive trip into a beautifully detailed world.
And they're making millions
and not
more.
much else. There's just nothing there except for the visuals.
There you go.
Whatever.
True that.
Number 3, we got Crash.
Crash.
Which is
Crash is amazing.
considered
Crash is
the
awesome.
worst best picture of all time.
No,
by-
it's just really good.
Yeah, that's good.
Looking back at it now, it was completely outdated in its depiction of race relations in America, and blatantly falls victim to the white savior syndrome.
I gotta watch it again.
Yeah,
I don't
me too.
remember that. Of course, I might have been a different person back then.
75% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the look of shock and dismay on Jack Nicholson's face when he actually had to read out the Best Picture winner, followed by the jeers and the boos of the audience at the Kodak Theater, was priceless.
I don't remember that
Yeah,
either.
me neither.
This film is just not aged well.
All right.
2, we got Sausage Party.
Okay, well, that was awful.
Which luckily for me, I saw this was a piece of crap and avoided it in the theaters.
I saw it in the theater.
I did too.
This movie actually got
I was looking forward to
it
it.
got an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What?
Well,
People
its
like
use of-
wiener jokes.
Yeah, use of crude humor and dark storylines was heralded did not make it a good film. As an added bonus, the animators were forced to work under extreme conditions and asked to work overtime without pay just to finish it.
Ouch.
They refused, they were blacklisted by the industry. Not cool, Seth Rogen.
And what's number 1?
For one,
With a bullet.
it's controversial because I kind of liked it. American Hustle.
I loved American Hustle.
I don't
Ugh.
entirely agree with it, but I will
Not
admit
a
it's
fan.
very confusing and sometimes awful film with some terrible performances.
No,
I'm
it's good.
talking about you and your Jerry curl, Bradley Cooper.
No, he was good.
Amy Adams was by far the best part of this film, but
She's
it
all right.
just wasn't enough. It actually got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes and multiple Oscar nominations, including
Well
Best
deserved.
Picture.
No.
But it holds
Didn't
the
like it.
distinction of being tied for the second most nominated film in Oscar history to win nothing.
Yay!
That's an interesting stat that I didn't know.
Only The Color Purple was nominated for more awards than came away with Goose Egg.
Well,
And-
I'm happy about that because I didn't love this movie.
And it lost 12 Years a Slave that year, so I guess it wasn't going to win anyway. But
There you go.
anyway, that's what I got.
That wasn't as joyful as you normally are.
No, I know. It can't always be sunshine and roses.
Unless you're Summerland in the last third,
Unless
where
you're
they were
Summerland.
pooping rainbows. in
I
that
love
movie.
goo.
That is correct.
Goo-tastic. All right, the list. So, right off the bat, Oliver Reed.
Oliver Reed.
Did you see Devils?
No.
You're the devil yourself.
I'm gonna watch it though real soon.
Okay. Well, I may watch it again this weekend just because I loves me the Devils.
All right.
Okay, was anybody got anything to bring forward this week?
I've got an Undoubted.
What? This is a surprise.
And I had to go back through all our episodes because I'm like, I can't believe we haven't done this guy yet.
All right, well, let's have it.
It is an actor.
Actor.
His name is
Yep.
Joaquin Phoenix,
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix.
which Murray's
Interesting.
laughing at for some reason.
Go ahead. Make your case.
So, which way do you want me to start, from 2019 or from 2013?
Let's go from back to front.
2013, Her, Mondo.
It was a meh.
2014.
Wait, back it up. Was it a memory or was it a rage? It might stop right there.
It wasn't a rage,
Okay.
but it wasn't because of him.
Inherent Vice, 2014.
That was a Mondo.
Mondo.
Yeah, it was all right.
And was it a Mondo or is it a meh? You got it, Murray. You can't just go, it was all right. Is it a Mondo or is it a meh?
meh.
Okay, there we go.
Well, then I guess I gotta stop. It's done.
Why? What's the next one?
Well, he's got back-to-back mess.
Well, not from both of us.
That's
One
true.
gave meh, the other one
All
didn't.
right.
I don't know. How's that work? This is now, we've now got 3 people all voting. Is
Yeah,
it-
you know what? Maybe that should be the way it is.
I know where
don't
it's going. but
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
go back. So it was a meh for,
Anyways, Her, you gave it a meh.
yeah, but Inherent Vice was a Mondo.
Inherent Vice is a Mondo.
Yep.
Irrational Man, 2015, Mondo.
Never saw it.
I'm trying to think if I've seen that one. Yes, I did, and it was Mondo.
Yep. And this better have been a Mondo because it was freaking awesome. You Were Never Really Here.
Yeah, that was a Mondo.
Never saw it.
Major Mondo.
Yeah, it was good.
Love that movie. Don't worry, he will not get very far, or he will not get far on foot, from 2018, which was a Mondo.
That's a movie?
Yeah, I said it was Mondo. I liked it a lot.
This could be the one that breaks it, because I thought it was a meh. Mary Magdalene
Yeah.
from 2018. It was a meh.
It was also a meh for me.
That's okay.
Yeah, not bad.
The Sisters Brothers. It was a opener for SIF actually.
It wasn't
in
a Mondo.
2018.
I'm
It was
sorry.
a Mondo.
No.
It was a
no.
meh. That's
No.
2 mehs back to back for me.
All right, and then
Can't do
Joker
it.
was a Mondo.
Yeah, Joker was a Mondo. Damn you,
which
Joaquin
I
Phoenix.
would not even see because I despise him so much.
Joaquin
Yeah,
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay, well then, if you can't, you have a. You can, so in that case,
He didn't give anything a rage, though,
No,
so...
exactly. No, but I'm just saying, in that
I
case,
just-
if someone hasn't seen a bunch of the movies, unless he goes back and sees them,
No.
then he stays on whatever list
I
it is.
just refuse to see his movies. That's all.
But in this case, it doesn't matter because
Yep.
Jim gave back-to-back Maz, which made no sense to me because Sisters Brothers was Mondo.
Nah, it was meh. And her almost was a rage, so I kind of was a little lenient on her because I did not like that movie that much.
Really?
He was great, but
That actually made me look up Spike Jonze because I thought, wow, he must be pretty close.
pretty
to-
close, but no.
But
Yes.
then, well, no, he is and he isn't. He's made like 5,000 things, but he's only made 5 feature films.
Oh, really?
Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like Being John Malkovich,
Yeah.
Adaptation,
Bunch of other stuff.
the Beastie Boys thing from last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
The her and
So
like
he's done a
one
lot
other-
of TV stuff.
But
I
he's done
think,
a
maybe.
lot of TV stuff, a lot of
Producing.
videos, a lot of like he's just
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere, but he's only actually made 5 future films. So
Well, sorry, Joaquin.
yeah, I'm sorry too. I thought he had a chance.
He's great, but he doesn't always pick.
No, he does,
Everything
but
great.
you disagree, so that's the way it is.
That is true.
And Murray's got it in his head that I don't like Joaquin Phoenix. and
Well,
that's just the way it's
Murray's
gonna
he
be.
didn't give a rage though, so kudos to you, Murray. All right, I'll give one Mesmerized then this week to see what we think. I had built a huge list for this week too. I'm throwing out Mesmerized, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Trying to think if he's still mesmerizing.
What
I know
was his last
he was, but is he still? Is he still?
Murray, what do you say?
mesmerizing?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's one.
Is he still mesmerizing? I will say that Leo is mesmerizing.
We got a winner, people. There's some joy still left in our little dead hearts. Okay, well, that's it for the list this week because we're running out of time.
Oh, you had one Undoubted.
I do have an Undoubted, but I'll let it go this
You're
week.
not going to mention it?
Yeah,
right.
Bryce did a good job.
Save it for next.
I've got about 6 in my can.
All right,
There you
then.
go.
All right.
All right, last time on Rage or Dare, Jim eventually pulled from Bryce's apparently musical and Tiffany Haddish bag of sheer terror.
There's so much of both of those.
Mariah Carey's voice range as broad as her acting chops, or will this music-filled marvel make Jim sing a tale of woe? This week, Jim and Bryce will have to decide to rage from my sweet, delicious bag, or take my dare, which is sure to delight in all their senses with decadent palate-cleansing dish of delight. So that's some good writing there, Jim. First, let's check in with Jim and see what kind of type of song he will sing us.
All right. How was it?
Glitter. Wow. Glitter. After the amazing singing right off the bat, I was hooked.
Nice.
And by hooked, I was fished into wondering who allows a 12-year-old in the bar that late at night.
Mm-hmm.
Everything after the first song just got so contrived, even the going and asking for money from her papa. Yikes! So painful. The dialogue and acting was pretty bad 10 minutes in. And then there was a commercial for Jim Gaffigan stand-up. So I got to stream this on YouTube free, so of course gave me some commercials, and I got to see Jim Gaffigan.
Well, that's not fair that you got a little
which was
break.
awesome. Remember how much we loved Gaffigan from last week?
I love Gaffigan.
Yeah, he was amazing.
He was the best part of this movie, wasn't he?
He was the best part about this movie. Oh, right. Glitter. Sorry, I digress. Do I have to talk about it? Can I just talk
Yes.
about Jim Gaffigan
Nope.
and his comedy special, which I
No.
actually went and watched after that?
No.
Nope.
I'd much rather talk about
But
him.
how
That's
was
TV.
it, by the way? Should I check it out?
It's
Did you-
good. He's
yeah?
always good.
He
That's
is.
TV.
Bacon.
Not allowed.
Okay, well, Terrence motherfucking Howard was in this.
What?
And I love him so much.
Terrence Howard's awesome.
But not in this. Like, he was terrible. I love Mariah Carey's voice, but not in this. Mariah was amazing at singing,
yes.
and she's amazingly beautiful.
Yes.
The writing and direction, on the other hand, was close to sadism. The story
It's pronounced
definitely
sadism, by the way.
tomato,
Okay,
sadism,
I don't-
sadism.
Sadasm.
Sadazzling.
Sadasm's not even a word.
Sadazzling? It's sadazzle. I'm going to
Anyways,
sadazzle up this film.
but before you go on, too, your whole sadism thing is not a thing on this podcast, just in case you're wondering.
It is to me. But you know what? Saying that, the story made up for everything.
There was a story.
Nice try, Jim.
Who doesn't love music-focused love stories, right?
Absolutely.
To summarize, acting barf, story yuck, predictably out of this world. Mariah's voice, freaking amazing as always, but this film deserves the 2.2 it received on IMDb. Terrence Howard, why? Why did you quit Iron Man series and then yet you agreed to do this? Shame, shame, shame. Oh, wait. A year prior to this, he was in a movie called Big Mama's House. Humble beginnings.
That's the whole thing. This is the beginning of his career, really,
Is that
wasn't it?
is that a TP?
No.
No.
It's not a TP? I thought it was.
No, it's not.
Oh.
Well played, Bryce. Well played. I will say, I at least did not have to watch a musical. It was music literally all through the movie, but I did not have to watch a musical.
Yeah.
Not a
looking out for you.
motherfucking musical. It did make me rage severely,
Nice.
almost to a point that I felt it was sadistic.
Fair enough.
All right, well, we got to make a decision. What do we want to do, rage or dare? If we choose dare, maybe Murray will dare us to see the SpongeBob movie.
No, I don't think he will.
That's something you might actually enjoy now.
I am going to enjoy it.
Let's just keep on pulling from his bag.
Where's your
It's-
succulent bag, Merman?
It
Bet I had a nice dare for you.
it has failed to disappoint so far.
That is true.
It has. Bryce, you and I are going, oh my God!
Nah,
The
can't be
most
that bad.
feared movie on the planet.
What's that?
Murray, I hate you.
What is it?
I know.
I've been hoping never to pull this from anyone's bag.
That's why I put it in
Next
there.
week, we will be watching the movie Cats.
What?
Yes, we will.
Oh.
The worst movie ever made.
Where
Murray.
can we even get cats?
I'm pretty sure it's on demand
Oh, it's,
somewhere now.
it's everywhere.
It came out
Is
at
it?
Christmas time. That's like 8 months ago.
Yep.
You let me know how it is.
So not only is this a musical,
Uh-huh.
it's also the worst movie ever made.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
There's a lot of spandex in this movie. A lot of spandex.
That's good, right?
Prancing cats.
Sexy.
Okay. Well,
All right then.
I'm looking forward to it.
no.
It's going to be good.
Thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the extended Film Rage crew of Leonard Conlon for his artistic vision and photography of Leonard Conlon Photography. Listen to us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and check out our website at filmrageyyc.com. We're always wanting your feedback to make this a raging blast for all listeners. So please comment often. Please make us rage. Please, please. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.